Hello, everyone. First and foremost, I'd like to congratulate the first five pitchers. Amazing job, guys. Now, regarding myself, I'm Conno. I'm one of the four co-founders of Avocarrot. And today I'll try to tell you my story from idea, product, revenue-generating company, exit, and maybe post-exit afterwards. I don't want to bore you. I don't have slides. It's just me talking. So I'll try to keep it brief. And then if you have any questions, let's make it even more interactive. So everything started around 11 years ago when I had to go to the army. I come from Cyprus, so as soon as we finish school, 18 years old, we go 25 months there, where I met my three friends. So right after that, we finished the army, and then we go to study together at Imperial College, where we studied computer science, electrical and electronic engineering. We finished the studies, and then we go to start working on some apps. We're building some apps just for fun. One app that we built got the first prize in a small hackathon in London, so-called London Hackathon. We had some users, and then we thought at some point, okay, guys, how do we make money now? What we did is that we used 3 or 4 different SDKs, technologies, in our app to make sure that we show banner ads to our users and make money through that method. It didn't work. Nobody clicked on those ads. It was annoying. They popped up on their face, so we thought, okay, there has to be something better. There wasn't something in the market at that point, so we thought, okay, let's build something for our in-house needs and test it out. In a couple of months, we had our first MVP, and what we did is that we transformed the ugly banners into more natively injected, let's say, advertising, so that they were not as much as intrusive like the banner ads. The result was 10 to 15 times higher click-through rate. Which resulted to more revenues for us. We gave it to a couple app agencies in London to test it out as well. It worked for them too. So we thought, okay, let's stop building apps and just focus on this piece of technology, make it as a platform so that any app developer uses it to make money from less intrusive advertising. That's what we did. 3 months down the line, we're getting our first investment, £100,000, a small investment from corporates in the UK. Unilever, BBC, Bauer Media, and Ingenious Media invested in that round. It was a small round, but it kept us going in the expensive city of London. And I would say that the transformational point of the company was when Google for Entrepreneurs wanted to select the 8 most promising startups worldwide, excluding the US. So they were selecting one from Israel, Pakistan, India, Germany, France, and from the UK. From the UK, they're selecting us. They fly us over to Silicon Valley. 3 weeks, our first time in the US ever, all paid by them, by Google. We're meeting with cool guys there. And what happened at that trip is that we kind of we were brainwashed by the Americans to move to San Francisco, to Silicon Valley. If you want to become a tech entrepreneur and you take it seriously, you guys have to come here. We're going back to the UK, trying to convince our UK investors that we have to move to San Francisco. It took us around 6 to 7 months. We're going there, and the plan is to raise the round. Now, 24, 25 years old at the moment, first-time entrepreneur, no idea how to fundraise. We had to do some calculations on how much we will need from point A to point B and the time period. So after doing the first calculation, we thought, okay, $1 million makes sense for some operational costs, hiring, tech, engineering, promotion, all the usual stuff. We're spending 2 months for that pitch, and we get around 30 rejections. And then we come back and say, okay, what's happening? The tricky part is that $1 million to fundraise was a very weird number, let's say. It was too small for angels, and too big for angels and too small for VCs. So we thought, okay, let's go VCs all the way. Let's do it for $2 million. We're going another 2 months, another around 40 rejections, 70 in total, so you can imagine how we felt. And then at that moment we say, okay guys, we don't have a lot of runway, but it was mostly the psychological part that we couldn't afford anymore. So we say, okay, let's take it step by step. Let's go and fundraise $500,000. We're going for $500,000 for another month, more rejections. We lower it down to 200K. And then at some moment, and this is a real number, after 103 rejections, we're meeting the 104th micro VC, Darling Ventures there, where he accepted to invest 50K. So at that moment, that meant the world to us. And after a couple of weeks, we closed a round of $500,000 from mostly angels and that micro VC. So we oversubscribed the 200K round from $500,000, but we started from a $2 million pitching to the VC. So if there's something that, we learned from that process is that point of reference is a very powerful tool, and you control that. So you control point B. You are in point A, and you want to go there, point B. So you can control that based on the dynamics, the market, the timing, the investors. So that's a very powerful weapon that you can use not to waste a lot of time and energy. After that, $500,000, big in San Francisco and London, maybe the two most expensive cities in the world. We thought, okay, it's not going to be a big journey, so we have to find a lower cost place. So that's when we came to Athens around 2.5 years ago. And it was probably the best decision ever, not only because the low-cost life and salaries and the sun, but also because of the people that we found here, 20 talented superstars that joined our team, and now we are here in this stage that we are now. So it was a great choice. Right after that, we're raising, as soon as we come here, a meeting with Thanasis and Spiros. Spiros is here now, and they were kind enough to lead our next round, $2 million round, along with Odyssey Jeremy Fund. There were other angels from the US and the UK. Then right after that, we're getting another award. Is called AdTech. Basically, AdTech is the flagship conference for advertising technology. It's being done in San Francisco, New York, and London, and then they vote the next big thing every year. That year, we are getting voted as the next big thing. Great timing, because right after that, we launched. We're growing after that, and then I think a pivotal point for the acquisition was when we, basically there's another event that 300 CEOs from the AdTech world, invite only, CEO only, AdTech only, are going to that event in New York every May, and they're discussing the future of advertising technology. So last year we're getting the first time we're getting this invitation, and apparently this is the ideal event for potential partners, strategic investors, clients, even acquirers. So at a point we were getting pulled to a fireside chat along with other 3 CEOs, and we're discussing the future of programmatic advertising technology. Great exposure. Within the next 10 days, we're getting 4 companies that they're interested in discussing with us about potential synergies and partnerships. So just to make things clear, this is not a standard thing for every market. It's just the fact that AdTech is consolidating. There's a big wave of merging companies, buying one another. And with this timing, the market dynamics, and definitely lots of luck, we were at that moment there. If you asked us now whether we wanted to sell the company back then, at that moment, the straight answer would have been a no. Not because we didn't want the money or the resources of the other company, but mainly because the plan was to go from point B to point C through a big round from Silicon Valley investors. Having said that, every opportunity that comes to the table, especially of this magnitude, we have to take it to the board, we have to discuss all together, see it from all the angles, many shareholders in the company, lots of different interests. So that's what we did, and we decided to entertain all four discussions and see where that goes. We got 2 term sheets, and then we decided to go with Glispa because of the culture, the aligned vision, the people, and of course because they paid more money. And then after that, 3.5 months later, September 13th of 2016, we closed the deal, and we're now leading the programmatic strategy of the whole organization based out of Athens. We have access to 12 sales satellite offices of the organization that is headquartered in Berlin. And actually, last week, after the first half of the year, we were given the next flagship product of the company to build it in Athens. So that's why we're hiring, and we want to find the best people to join us for this next big chapter. That's pretty much it. I hope I didn't bore you to death. Any questions? I'd love to take them.